Namaskar viewers. Hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Tina Jha. You're watching Perspective. 24th of April is recognized as the National Panchayati Raj Day, commemorating the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992 of the Constitution that came into effect on this day in 1993. Now, this day is a celebration of rural empowerment, democratic participation and the achievements of the Panchayats. Panchayats across India are the backbone of a stronger Bharat, driving change at the grassroots level. From ensuring clean energy, better healthcare, empowering community-led progress, improving water management and spreading digital services in every village, the Panchayats are driving transformation in a big way. And therefore, this Panchayati Raj Day, let's take a moment to honor the progress of Gram Panchayats across India and reaffirm our commitment towards creating safer, inclusive, gender-sensitive, self-reliant institutions at the local levels. To talk about some of the significant efforts and initiatives aimed at empowerment, enablement and accountability of Panchayati Raj institutions to ensure inclusive development with social justice and efficient delivery of services, I'm joined on the program by two guests. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome in the studio Mr. Vipul Ujjwal, Director, Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Mr. Ujjwal, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Sansad TV. Joining us virtually is Ms. Tanya Parveen, Sarpanch, Siswa Purvi Gram Panchayat, Block Banjaria, East Champaran District of Bihar. Tanya ji, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Sansad TV. So as we are celebrating the empowerment and transformation of our Gram Panchayats, let's begin with the milestones. Mr. Ujjwal, in fact, I'm quoting from the ministry here. As of 2025, India's local governance is reaching new milestones with more than 2.6 lakh Panchayati Raj institutions and 31.5 lakh elected representatives actively shaping rural development. Take us through some key factors that have contributed in the rise of Panchayati Raj institutions across the country and how significant is their rise in building a Viksit Bharat by 2047.
Thank you, Tanya ji. Tina ji, the biggest thing is this, that since 73rd Amendment came into being, it has kind of, the people might have a difference of opinion, but it has kind of done far better than what we were expecting.
Right.
Like for example, if we go by our 73rd Constitutional Amendment, originally it was envisaged that there will be 1/3 reservation for the women.
Yes.
And generally the thought would be like if the reservation is there, this is going to stay around this 33%, right? But 92 to 2025, 33 years give or take. Now 22 states, suo moto, without any pressure from center, have increased this reservation percentage to 50%. Means there is a common feeling. It was not constitutionally mandated. So if this is a win for us in general, the idea we thought there should be a participation, and we thought let's start with 33%. The people realized no, they are 50%. Why not 50%? And interestingly, we are only, let's say 2/3 of the states have done this 50% reservation. Our actual number of women elected representatives, we call them EWRs, elected women representatives, that says around somewhere 46%. In many states, their total number is more than whatever is reserved for. Means they are not only winning the seats which are reserved for them, they are winning seats which are not even reserved for them. So this is kind of, if you ask me, if I have to choose one singular data point which says that it has actually delivered more than what we had thought, I think this data point tells a lot. Apart from this, see, having number is just a first step. You can make somebody sit in a chair. Then are they actually effectively delivering? That comes the second question. And especially when we talk about, and we have various misnomers or some partly true concept that Sarpanchpati, Pradhanpati,
right,
then everybody will think that okay, maybe they came to the constitutional post, but they are not delivering. Now, for last 3 years, we have National Panchayat Awards, right? And there's no reservation there, right? So we ask the states to send their entries, and then we evaluate them on a very objective and very stringent criterias, and we select panchayats based on purely on their performance. And again, I'm repeating, there's no reservation. For last 3 years, constantly, the number of elected women representatives getting these awards is increasing. So I think these two data points are enough to tell us that not only this 73rd amendment or participation of women in Panchayati Raj institution has taken a foothold, but also thriving.
So surely we'll talk about how, when you're incentivizing the Gram Panchayats, what are the factors you're looking at. We'll surely touch upon that aspect. But since you mentioned a very important point, and that is about women in leadership roles at grassroots levels, shaping policies and transforming lives, it's a pleasure to welcome one such individual who has actually brought about significant change in the lives of people in her Gram Panchayat. To begin with, Ms. Tanya Parveen, I extend huge congratulations to you on behalf of Sansad TV for actually transforming people's lives in your village, in your Gram Panchayat, and particularly the young girls. मैं आपके बारे में पढ़ रही थी और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत खुशी महसूस हुई कि जो छोटी लड़कियां पहले स्कूल जाना नहीं चाह रही थी, वो अब बड़ी संख्या में स्कूल जा रही हैं और अपने आगे की पढ़ाई को लेकर भी काफ़ी उत्साहित हैं. तो सबसे पहले हमारे दर्शकों को आप ये बताइए कि ये बदलाव आप कैसे ला पाएं.
Thank you, ma'am. My good name is Tanya. I am leader of Siswa East, district is Champaran. I am from Bihar. In the beginning, some people thought I was just a name for the seat, but I made sure attend every meeting, raise issues, and take every meeting, take a bold decision. Over the time, people started trusting my leadership. Improvement is not just about holding the position, but actively using to create positive change.
So as a woman in leadership role, Ms. Tanya, because you know you
As a woman,
yes,
as a
please
woman
continue.
Mukhya, as a women Mukhya of Siswa Purvi, I have worked hard to improvement education. We have performed women's self-help group, supported girls' education, and ensured proper implements of government scheme. These efforts come from understanding the needs of women and families in our village.
So, Ms. Tanya, how are you now empowering the other women? Because you have empowered yourself, you are bringing positive change in the lives of hundreds of others. But how are you particularly empowering women of your village?
I encouraged the women here and told them that women are in no way inferior to men. They can make their name better than men is every department, because I am also the head of my village and I know my abilities. I saw my own abilities inside them and made them realize these things.
Couldn't agree more with you on that, because Mr. Ujjwal, what we are also seeing in the numbers, you spoke about the Nari Shakti powering the panchayats, and 46% of elected representatives today are women. Your perspective on how women today are redefining leadership, and especially how would you look at their role in shaping policies at the grassroots level, ultimately impacting our larger national goals?
Wonderful question, ma'am. See, you have to see this. Let's understand what is women empowerment. Women empowerment is twofold. One fold is that we have to increase the number of choices available to women. That is first part. If a woman only had 2 choices, let's say for career, earlier women had only 2 choices, number of choices should increase. now she can explore more avenues, more kind of career choices.
Right.
That is first part. Second part is her ability or agency should increase, that she can convert those choices into outcomes. Like, take example, if I'm a girl, if I had 2 options, now I should have more career options. That is first part. Then if there are more options, I should be actually able to choose one and do that. So once both things are done, we say that women empowerment has happened. Now they have more choices, and now they have more agency to exercise their choices and get those outcomes. Now, women in grassroots level local governance institutions is a very, very peculiar and very interesting phenomena. Means, if you ask me, if I have to equate them with an example, it's like lighting a lamp. So lamp will absolutely give light to me. If I'm sitting in a dark room, if I light a lamp, I'll get the light, I'll be benefited. However, this light will help others also. They can also see the light, they can come to the light, they can also enjoy the benefit of the light. So when women elected representatives are coming into these powerful positions by having more choices and exercising their agency to have the outcomes they desired, they are also acting as a beacon for other disenfranchised women that this is possible. You will believe me, ma'am, whenever we go out and we talk to most of the women elected representatives and girls in general, the first thing I feel that the biggest stumbling block for any woman to have choices and exercising them is her own inability to believe that she can. Once you get that away and get that off, they have all the potential in their lives. So how to get this thing out of their mind? Only by having positive role models which are exactly like them, like from their own community, from their own socio-cultural milieu. When they see them rising, then they start believing that if she can do it, we can do it. So the impact of women elected representatives is twofold. They are changing the perspective, they are showing like they are getting something for themselves, they are getting empowered, they are talking about women issues, all right. But the impact they have on the young girl's mind, when they see some sarpanch sitting and talking with authority, the kind of transformation happens. I think that is the biggest takeaway from these elected representatives. And just think about it, we have 10 crore SHG members today. Do you really think if we never had this kind of women elected representatives grassroots, this kind of economic empowerment and grassroots in form of SHGs would have happened? Right. I really doubt.
One big change maker is in fact, with us on the program, Ms. Tanya Parveen. Let me come back to you and get your perspective on 2 aspects. One, that of course you are the head of your village and you've brought about positive, qualitative change in lives of people. But second, also the fact that you are a woman at such a young age, you are in a leadership role. How do you think women bring about new perspectives in issues of development and the trust that we now have towards making our villages, towards making our Gram Panchayats more and more self-reliant?
Where women lead families grow stronger. In my panchayat, we have seen better school attendance, cleansing, streets increased, about health, and decline in early marriage. Women leaders care deeply about education, health, and well-being of children, and that show in the result.
That's right, and particularly because, as Mr. Ujjwal also said, when you empower the woman, she in turn empowers the family. It extends on to the communities and then the entire village, and that's why when a woman is there in that leadership role, the impact is much bigger. Something that we are witnessing today across the length and breadth of India. That brings me to a next question, and one of the strategic initiatives that Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Mr. Ujjwal individual announced recently was the Sashakt Panchayat Netri Abhiyan. You launched it, I believe, a month ago, and your website said it's a strategic initiative aimed at strengthening the capacity building interventions for women elected representatives of the Panchayati Raj institutions. Now, help us and our viewers understand how you're helping these women elected representatives sharpen their leadership acumen, at the same time enhance their decision-making capabilities. And I ask you this because it's a very crucial time. Whatever decision they take, it's going to impact us not just at the local level, but also at the national level.
Ma'am, what happened is that our Secretary Sir was like the catalyst for this idea. For some time we were ruminating about this thing, that how we can give more agency to our elected women representatives. Idea is that women elected representatives, again, just I told you that they have reached to a position. Now, how to utilize their full potential? How do we convert whatever potential they have into an actuality? So, and also about the females who are not in elected women representatives role, but like who are ordinary citizen of a Gram Panchayat.
Right.
So there were many initiatives been taken, and amalgamation of all those initiatives is kind of the broad contours of our Sashakt Panchayat Netri Abhiyan. So one part is top down. We are trying to give agency and give empowerment to our elected women representative. And second is we are ensuring that our women citizen of a Gram Sabha or a Gram Panchayat, they should also feel that they have better choices and they have more control over their choices. So the first part, we there was a study conducted by Ministry of Panchayati Raj about how to bring more empowerment and agency to women elected representatives. One of the key recommendations of that report was that we need to build a training program. Now you have to understand there is always a training program. Whenever there is a new Sarpanch or Panch comes in place, we have an induction training that is given to everyone. Right. But then this training is so generic, it is similar for a male and for a female. It is cut off the same cloth. Now you also understand that if I start teaching the same thing to everyone, then I will make some presumption that this is the base knowledge this whole group have, and these are the things they don't have. Now male and female, because of their difference in their social and economic and political world, they have different learnings. They have different set of obstacles and they have different set of challenges. So most of our training we felt that is tugging on challenges felt by male elected representatives, and they are not addressing the issues as deeply and as thoroughly of women elected representatives as we want. So we have developed a specialized training module with the help of our partners, TRIF, Transforming Rural India. We had developed a training module. It is a 3-day training module exclusively for elected women representative. And in this 3 days module, there is no PPT. We don't want to give them any information. We want them to reflect that what is holding them back. And the idea is that if we just take away that obstacle, we just have to take it away, and all of the light they had in themselves will shine. And we already had, not only we launched the module, we have done our 2 batches of training of trainers, the trainers who are going to go in field and train others, and then we have to reach, because we have to reach 14.5 lakh elected women representative, so we have to train many trainers.
Okay. So let's hear about the impact that such initiatives have on the women elected representatives. Tanya ji, आपका क्या experience रहा है as a woman सरपंच? किस तरह का support आपको सरकार से मिलता है, लेकिन बावजूद उसके किस तरह के challenges आप अभी भी face कर रही हैं, जो आपको लगता है कि आने वाले समय में जिसकी तरफ आप चाहती हैं कि सरकार का ध्यान केंद्रित हो?
मेरा ये है कि पहले जो यहाँ की महिलाएं थी वो किसी भी काम में आगे नहीं बढ़ती थी, लेकिन जब से मैं यहाँ सरपंच बनने के बाद मैंने लोगों को जागरूक किया, तो फिर यहाँ की महिलाओं में एक जज्बा आया। मैंने उन्हें यह भी दिखाया, यह बताया कि मैं भी एक महिला हूँ। मैं महिला होकर के जब आगे काम कर सकती हूँ, तो आप भी किसी भी क्षेत्र में आगे काम कर सकती हैं।
बिल्कुल।
और इसके बाद मैंने उन्हें जागरूक किया, और मेरी बातों से उन्हें उनको अच्छा लगा और वो आगे बढ़े। उसके बाद मैंने मनरेगा के थ्रू जॉब कार्ड दिलवा कर उन्हें काम करवाया। और सबसे बड़ी बात, जीविका। जीविका से जो घर की महिलाएं, औरतें, वो आत्मनिर्भर होने लगी और आत्मनिर्भर हो भी गई। पहले में और आज में अब गांव में बहुत ही बड़ा एक बदलाव है। और सरकार की तरफ से हमें ही बहुत ही सहायता है। सरकार की तरफ से बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ का जो ये योजना निकला, इन योजना पे हमने वर्क किया और ये सभी हमने इसको पूरा किया। जितनी योजनाएं थी हम लोगों ने सारे धरातल पर उतारा उस योजनाओं को। बच्चों को प्रोत्साहित किया हमने, बालिकाओं को खास करके नामांकन, अब तो 100% नामांकन हमारे स्कूल में हो रही है। और लड़कियां बालिकाएं ड्रॉप आउट नहीं हो, इसके लिए हम लोगों ने बहुत काम किया है। और सरकार की तरफ से हमें यह भी बहुत हुआ कि 50% अब तो महिलाओं के लिए सीट है। तो ये सब मैंने अपने गांव में महिलाओं को जागरूक किया और उन्हें बताया कि आप लोग अपने अधिकारों के लिए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। तो अब जब ग्राम सभा होती है, तो पहले हमारे यहाँ ऐसा था कि महिलाओं की जो भीड़ थी, तादाद थी, वो बहुत कम हुआ करती थी। लेकिन आज की डेट में हमारे यहाँ ग्राम सभा में आइए बहुत ज्यादा महिलाएं बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा लेती हैं और अपने किसी भी काम को आकर करवाती हैं कि हमारा ये नहीं है, ये कराइए, और उनका काम हम लोग सफलतापूर्वक करते हैं।
जी बिल्कुल तान्या जी, आपकी मेहनत के लिए आपको फिर से एक बार बहुत बधाई। एक बार और आपके पास आऊँगी और जानना चाहूँगी कि और इसको कैसे बेहतर बनाया जा सकता है, जिस तरह से पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशंस देश में काम कर रहे हैं। बट कमिंग बैक टू यू मिस्टर उज्ज्वल, फॉर योर पर्सपेक्टिव ऑन द फैक्ट दैट you've highlighted how with the tireless efforts of panchayats, villages with self-sufficient infrastructure are today taking shape. And banners and posters have been released regarding that in the run-up to the Panchayati Raj Day. So talk to us about this huge achievement of the panchayats, where rural communities now have access to every essential service that you name, which includes transport, drinking water, energy, healthcare, education, name it, and that essential service is there in the rural areas, empowering the rural communities in a manner that we didn't see before.
The most important thing is this, this is like you have heard that proverb, you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. Yes. So just try to understand it like this. There was a demand of people to have the services at their doorstep, because as the urbanization is growing and as the social media and everything is growing, now the rural people also have the same kind of civic amenities aspiration as the urban people have. They have the similar kind of aspiration. If urban people can have the facilities and services at their doorstep, why can't we? But while their aspirations were rising, the technology was also progressing. So the kind of IT revolution, the communication revolution, the smartphone revolution, the kind of internet availability which has come in hand grew, which made the government enabled the government to serve this demand. Now earlier people were demanding, but it was very tough to give them this service at their doorstep. Now they are demanding and the government is serving. And we in Ministry of Panchayati Raj, we kind of, whenever we have meetings with the state, our secretary keeps on reviewing about how many services they are being given at the doorstep. Not only at the doorstep, see there are two kind of availabilities. One is that service is available in Gram Panchayat, and one is a service is rendered by Gram Panchayat. Means that is kind of a more ownership. If one service is available next to your home, one service you are providing. When you are providing, then you are more answerable. Your ownership to the quality of service will improve. So we are trying on the both fronts. We are first focusing on the number of services available in the village should increase, and then number of services delivered by Gram Panchayat itself should also increase. And I think this is actually transformative, and side by side we are trying to saturate things. in terms of internet connectivity, in terms of computer availability. We keep a close watch on the number of Gram Panchayats who doesn't have internet connectivity and computer availability or Gram Panchayat building availability, and we try to handhold the states to ensure that the most of the Gram Panchayat should have building, then they should have computer, and then they should have internet connectivity. And then we insist, if you are having a building of Gram Panchayat, please have a common service center also in the same premises,
Right.
so that footfall to our Gram Panchayat also increases. A person who comes for a service, let's say some driving license or some caste certificate or income certificate, then they also come to Gram Panchayat Bhavan. So it's kind of, we want to see our Gram Panchayat Bhavans as not some tepid administrative units. We want to see them as vibrant community centers where people come, they get their jobs done, they congregate, they discuss, they deliberate, they participate towards a better and Shashakt Gram Panchayat, and Shashakt Gram Panchayat will lead to Viksit Bharat.
Absolutely. So while we've highlighted the transformative steps that have brought about positive change in the lives of people and the milestones that the Ministry of Panchayati Raj has achieved, let's also not forget to talk about the way ahead, because Viksit Bharat is what our ultimate goal is. And I'll take one last comment from Ms. Tanya Parveen, because she is there in the chair. She is to witness challenges and tackle them brilliantly as well. She's been doing that, but what more can be done is something that I'll get her perspective on. तान्या जी, अभी तक जो हो रहा है और जिस तरह का सपोर्ट मिला उसके बारे में आपने बोला कि आप काफ़ी खुश हैं उससे, लेकिन आगे आने वाले टाइम में, क्योंकि हमारा लक्ष्य बहुत बड़ा है, हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे ग्राम पंचायत महिलाओं के लिए और ज़्यादा सुरक्षित हों और ज़्यादा समावेशी हों, और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि जेंडर सेंसिटिव होने चाहिए. हमारे रूरल कम्युनिटीज़ को इसके बारे में भी बताना है. लड़कियों के लिए समृद्ध और सुरक्षित स्पेस बनाना है. तो उसके लिए आपको क्या लगता है किस तरह के कदम उठाए जाने चाहिए?
जी, लड़कियों के लिए जैसे हमारे यहाँ जब स्ट्रीट लाइट की सुविधा नहीं थी, हमारे यहाँ क्षेत्र में नहीं लगा था, तब लड़कियाँ रात में पढ़ने नहीं जाती थी, उनके पास एक था कि हम पढ़ने कैसे जाएँ। लेकिन अब हमारे यहाँ स्ट्रीट लाइट लगने की वजह से लड़कियाँ ट्यूशन रात के 8 बजे 8 से 9 के बीच भी हमारे यहाँ गाँव में जाती हैं, जो कि हम ये नहीं विचार कर सकते थे, नहीं सोच सकते थे। लेकिन जब गाँव में जाती हूँ मैं, तो ये देखती हूँ कि लड़कियाँ अब स्ट्रीट लाइट लगने की वजह से रोशनी रहती है हमारी तरह की सड़कें, और लड़कियां ट्यूशन से पढ़कर झुंड में लड़कियां निकल रही हैं, आ रही हैं और जा रही हैं। तो ये लगा, इस चीज के लिए बहुत फायदा हुआ। और अपनी गांव की महिलाओं, लड़कियां, बालिकाओं को मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी, और मेरे लिए ये रहेगा आगे की कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं उनके लिए, कि पूरे गांव में अभी तक अगर 70% तक बालिकाएं पढ़ रही हैं, उनका नामांकन है, तो मैं ये चाहूंगी कि ये 100% मैं कर सकूं और एक अपने पंचायत को सशक्त बना सकूं।
बिल्कुल,
तभी
आपको
हमारे गांव, और जब तक महिलाएं सशक्त नहीं होंगी, आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगी, तब तक हमारे पंचायत का विकास नहीं हो पाएगा और हमारे पंचायत सशक्त नहीं हो पाएगा।
बिल्कुल, उम्मीद है तान्या जी कि आपकी सोच और आपके काम से और भी कई लड़कियां प्रभावित होंगी, और जो बदलाव आप ला रही हैं उसमें और तेज़ी उनके सहयोग से आ पाएगी आने वाले समय में. बट वेरी क्विकली रैप अप द शो फॉर अस, मिस्टर विपुल उज्ज्वल. वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग द नेशनल पंचायती राज दिवस, एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर ह्यूज एक्सपेक्टेशंस एज फार एज एक्सेलरेटिंग दैट पेस ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज कंसर्न्ड.
As a concluding, whatever Tanya ji has said, I just want to resonate and I want to amplify, because we also believe that unless and until our Gram Panchayats are women friendly, which is one of our LSDG theme also, we had taken up a program in this Sashakt Netri Abhiyan, which we did on International Women Day.
Right.
We had asked every state to identify one Gram Panchayat in every district of country, and they have identified one Gram Panchayat. Now we have taken it up. We are building the capacity through training. We are engaging with the sarpanches and the Gram Sachiv of those Gram Panchayats, block level officers, and we want to convert these Gram Panchayat into a model woman friendly Gram Panchayat, which has everything we think of a Gram Panchayat should have if they are women friendly and women empowering. The idea is that once these Gram Panchayats in each district will become model women friendly Gram Panchayat, they will act as a lighthouse for others to see and copy. And then the point which was made by Tanya ji, that these are transformative steps taken by ministry with state and these great leaders which are working on the grassroots level. I think together and jointly we will be able to make that dream come true by 2047.
Sure. So with that, we'll have to wind up the conversation. Time allows me to take up only that much on this edition of Perspective. Once again, a big thank you to you, Mr. Bipul Ujjwal, for joining us and taking us through some of the significant initiatives that the Ministry of Panchayati Raj has undertaken in recent years. And a big thank you also to Ms. Tanya Parveen for sharing her experience and talking to us and our viewers about the challenges that she faces, the support now that she gets from the government, and which helps her move ahead with her goals as well. Thank you once again to you viewers as well for your time. It's a wrap on this edition of Perspective.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.